Hi, today I'm going to talk about something that I feel quite strongly about. It's about infants, toddlers, and screen time. Smartphones are so essential to our lives these days. I know I cannot imagine my life without one. But more and more, we see smartphones being used as a substitute for toys for young people. And yes, infants and toddlers are incredibly fun, but they can also be whiny, angry, throwing temper tantrums, generally sapping the energy of the adult around them. And you hand them a smartphone, and they're quiet, transfixed, almost lost in that world of bright colors and changing themes. And the adult can feel a moment of peace. You can almost hear your thoughts and get some respite. But I'm here to tell you why it's not such a great thing. Now, when we look at brain development of young people, 80% of the brain's development happens between 0 to 5 years of age. That is, this is the time that the brain is making most of its connections and learning how to do things. As we know, children are learning to do so many things. They're learning to move, they're learning to talk, they're learning to socialize with other people, they're learning to think. And between 0 and 1, the child recognizes the familiar adults around them, they learn to smile, they learn to recognize their own name, they even understand meanings of words. Between 1 and 2, they're understanding most of language, talking a lot, doing pretend play, and learning how to interact with people. How do they do this? They do this precisely in the context of interacting. They learn through their interactions with adults around them. They learn through play. They learn through interactions with other children. Now, when you introduce a smartphone in this mix, I believe that this time that is spent in learning through interaction is lost. So even introducing about 1 to 2 hours of or more of smartphones in a day for young children, studies have shown, causes delay in acquiring language, can cause deficits in attention for these children, can cause deficits in socialization, and there are some studies to show that there can even be deficits in thinking and reading and writing. Now, this is what studies say. What I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis at the clinic also is that when I see young children, especially less than 1 years or 1 to 2 year olds who've been exposed to 3 to 5 hours of screen time a day, I mean in activities such as, most parents are going to tell me that we introduce it only when the child eats. Otherwise he just doesn't eat. But you take 5 meals a day and half an hour each, there, 2.5 hours gone. So even as low as that, what happens is we see children who have deficits in language and deficits in socialization. Which is why the WHO, Indian Academy of Pediatrics, and American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry have laid down a strict guideline. No screen time for children from 0 to 2 years of age. So I'm hoping that all of us can follow this, which is we allow no screen time for our really young infants till 2 years of age. What do these guidelines say after that? Between 2 to 5 years of age, we can allow about 1 hour of screen time, but lesser the better. And when we allow screen time for our preschoolers, it is best to choose a particular program and co-view with the child. That is, we choose a program and we view it with the child so that we are able to explain what is happening, we can explain the context and link it with something that's happening in real life. So what we can do is still introduce a bit of interaction while viewing the smartphone. Apart from this, it's also important that the adults in the family use a screen as less as possible when they are around the child. And I also feel that considering the increase in screen-related use among children and adolescents also, I think it's important as parents and adults in the family we monitor our own screen use and switch off the TV whenever we are not watching it, and we are able to model to our children that we can do other activities like reading, playing, engage in hobbies which are not screen related. So the overall thing would be if an adult in the family can also learn to balance their need for screen based activities and non screen based activities. Thank you.